why are you going to bother using Twitter? There are 2 million tweets per day at the moment, and there's 500,000 accounts opened every single day. That doesn't mean they're all using it, but actually people are starting to wonder what the heck it's all about, and they're getting involved, and actually that's always the first step. So getting involved and actually seeing what the heck it's all about. In fact, I actually shut my first Twitter account when I opened it. I saw it being touted on Academy and thought, what the heck is all this about? And eventually I wandered over and had a nose, and I think I had my account for about 2 months before I shut it down and sort of thought, really can't see what all the fuss was about. Actually, since then it's grown into something quite amazing, and you can use it beautifully to find people that you need. But 20% of Twitter users never ever tweet.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, okay. As you all know, what's your Twitter handle?
@BizCopilot.
Okay, as I never seem to send you very much or retweet you because I never see you saying anything. For those of you who aren't Twitter users, a tweet is sending something out into the Twitter sphere so that either the people who are following you or anybody who's listening to what you talk about sees what you're saying. It isn't Dev's favourite social media platform, so I'd like you all to do me a huge favour, and I'd like you all to connect with him and bombard him with messages and get him to get off his bum and actually use it, because then he might actually do something with it.
And bear in mind that when you have a Twitter account, actually from a business point of view, is I would always recommend you separate your business Twitter account from your personal Twitter account, because there may be things that you wish to tweet about on your personal one that may not be, let's say, professional, and maybe not what your business contacts want to see.
Actually, I think it's very difficult for them to do that.
Why?
Because it's all public, unless they're doing it on direct messages, and I wouldn't be recommending direct messages with glasses of wine on Friday and Saturday night, girls and boys, because I've seen what happens when you do that. Your tweets are public. They are out there. Before you send something out on any platform, if you're not happy that your mum sees it, it probably shouldn't be going out.
Oh dear.
There's lots and lots and lots of reasons why you would be using Twitter. This is to show broadcasting, so you're sending stuff out to broadcast. Yes, there is an element of that in everything social media wise. Networking, look at all these different things that you can search for. Strategy, interests, professional people. There is so much out there that you can do. There's actually, believe it or not, an app out there for dating if you're single and you're on Twitter. There's actually
okay, now you've got my interest.
There's a Twitter app for single people. You will find joint venture partners and all sorts of other good things on there, but they need to be able to find you. So you have 160 characters as opposed to the 140 you have to tweet to say who you are.
So this is for the bio bit, yeah, on your Twitter account, yeah?
Who you are, what you do, where you are, and how people can connect with you, and make it absolutely easy as anything. If you put all of that in the 160 characters, and it is possible, they will be able to either pick the phone up if you put a telephone number on there, or they will be able to connect with you straight through. And a lot of people these days actually to do it. If you have they want something that you've talked about or that you say you do, they can click straight through.
So where can they go and see an example of this? Like your Twitter account, by any chance?
Well, I thought I should show them yours, really. But, hey.
You mean mine with 12,500 followers?
Yeah, and you got those how exactly?
Can't possibly say.
No, obviously, and you're doing what with them exactly?
Not a lot.
Yeah,
As we say, it's quality, not quantity.
yeah, size matters. Small and to the point, please. Please be what you say you are, and please look for people that are going to help you. Do not just connect with the world randomly unless you have a reason to do that. If you're part of a global brand or a global business, then great, go and join up with, how many did you say?
12,500. I only follow about 1,000. So seriously, that was done as an experiment. That's not what we advise people to do. Amanda's absolutely spot on, as usual. That actually what you want to do is start looking for your target market or people who are connected to your target market, and actually start following them, the leaders in the industry, etc. And really only connect with people who are worthwhile. It's no point having large numbers, because it becomes too noisy. They're not your target clients. You're not going to end up doing business with them. So start building these relationships with people who actually matter.
This is my Twitter account, which I knew was in here. And if you actually look at the red box, that has everything on it. It's actually very similar to my LinkedIn. In fact, I've nicked my stars off my LinkedIn. My stars, not your stars.
They're appearing everywhere now.
Actually, there's a rash of stars if you actually actually look all over the internet on people's profiles. We seem to be seeing a rash of stars everywhere, which is not a bad thing. But there's quite a few things that I'd like to share on here and make sure you're actually doing. So if you actually look at mine, you'll see that's my Twitter name, which was as near as I could get to me. People interact with people. They rarely, unless they're a big brand, will interact with your company. So all of you who are on this webinar, please put a recent, relevant picture. Don't laugh!
No, I'm just laughing because when we did the last webinar, which was LinkedIn, I was laughing at some of the pictures we found. I like the guy who's from LinkedIn who's taking a picture of himself in the mirror. Use a decent photograph of yourself that, as Amanda says, is recent and up to date, because people may meet you, so therefore they'll know whether you were using a photo painted one or a soft focus, or maybe one that was taken 10 years ago.
You mean people still do that?
Or people who wear hats to try and hide
I didn't do it to hide my face.
Okay.
And if you don't mind, that hat actually sets me apart from everybody else.
I know, and you get lots of comments about it.
Absolutely.
One or two of them are even nice.
Somebody's in trouble if they're not careful here. Actually, a picture of you, that was taken at a party a year ago, so it's due for a revamp. And actually, I have a wicked picture that was taken a week ago that I shall put up. But the recent thing is absolutely spot on. What you're doing with all of your social media is opening the door to have a chat. And I actually met up with some people a week ago who had been, what's the term? Tracking me? Is that the term?
No, I think stalking is the correct term.
Stalking, okay. And actually they wanted to do business with me. Now, I won't do business with people that I haven't met and don't know, or who haven't been recommended to me. It's just one of those things that, I need to know who you are. I need to put a face to an avatar, if you like. And I'm not the only one. There's lots and lots of people like that. So if you have put a picture on there that's showing you, should we say, in your best light, is that being polite?
Yes.
And they're looking around the room to find you, what does that say about you? That either you don't like who you are, or you're willing to bend the truth a little bit and show who you were 10 years ago. So actually go for it and put a decent picture on there. The other thing is make it a bit different to everybody else. Don't just go for the standard shot, because they'll not remember you.
No, slightly different from LinkedIn, where LinkedIn is very much a professional shot, whereas this is, you can have a bit more creativity here on Twitter and on Facebook. And certainly say definitely go for a picture of you yourself, not a company logo.
Absolutely not. I've tried it, and company logos are not a good thing. I've got Cafe Social Media, I've got Amanda Hill. If you look at the difference in the two accounts, you will be absolutely astonished at just how more people are going to follow this account. And I've actually changed the profile on the other one and said, this is only for broadcasting through. If you actually want to talk to somebody, I've given this profile and these details. So let's have a quick talk through this and see what it is that you're doing or what you're not doing to make it easy for you. I suspect I'm going to change this at some point, but that SocialUmph is one of the Twitter tools that are out there that you can do a free version, or there's a reasonably cheap version, and it has a page on there that you can have a website type page. I am trying it to see how it works, as I try with most things that are out there. That's the first time they're ever going to see any full stuff about me. So you want to direct them either to your website or somewhere they're going to find some useful information about you, because this is the first thing they're going to see. So they've seen the picture first, they've read your 160 characters, they want to find out more, so they're going to click through to that link that's on there. There's only 2 links on your profile that are clickable. One of them is to your Twitter profile itself, and the second one is to wherever you've gone to them. So it might be a Facebook site, it might be a page, it might be a website or what you want to do. You could even do is what to do with them. So you've got to have in your mind what your strategy is of what you're going to do with all of these people that you connect with.
What I would suggest, guys, is before you think about directing them to your website, is actually, unless your website's very interactive, is maybe guide them to your Facebook page, because Twitter is a very interactive place. So take them to another interactive place like Facebook, where they can still interact with you. Taking them to a website, if it's a brochure type site where they can't do any more interaction, is not a great idea. But I very much second what Amanda was saying there about taking them to a squeeze page. So if your Facebook page has got a welcome tab on it, where you can actually collect data from them, that's great. And if you don't know about that, please let us know and we'll fill you in a bit more about that. And we covered that in our Facebook webinar probably about 4 months ago. Yeah. Or take them to a squeeze page, which is basically a web page where you've got some video, some text or whatever, but also a data capture box that they can put their email address and name in for an ethical bribe to actually get some sort of information from you.
By ethical bribe, what Dev means is giving them something that you think they would like.
Value first.
Absolutely.
So give them something valuable. So either a tips report, a case study, series of videos of how they, your expertise can come across to them. Loads of ways that you can actually give people some more time to spend with you, and therefore enhance the possibility of you doing business with them.
So you'll see in the background here, this picture here is actually just a JPEG. There are umpteen programs out there you can do it on. If you want my layout that I've used and built it in Paint, you're very welcome to it. Please just go and ask me. If you're in the group, ask me in the group on Facebook. If you're not, go on to the Facebook page, which is fb.com/the Social Media Cafe, and ask for it, and I'm very happy to send it to you. But let's just have another look at a few things on here.
Before you moved on, the background is very, very important. With Twitter, Facebook, Flickr if you use it, and YouTube, and your website, they should all have a consistency of the backgrounds. So your logos, things like that, and colours should all be the same throughout. Again, if you want more help with that, we can advise you how to do that and everything. But please make sure, it's like having a website that's branded. All these bits must look the same, so that wherever they go and see you, they will get the same professional image of you as it is. LinkedIn you can't actually do anything with, but everything else you can.
Well, actually on LinkedIn, if they put their business page on there, they can put some pictures that are the same.
They can, yeah.
but yes, she's right. You can't actually change the background, and he is spot on in that you've got to have consistency. I actually have the same picture across the bulk of my social media. Probably missed one or two of the early ones that I tested and never really gone back to. Unfortunately now, most of the things that I will connect with are using the Oath system, and I use my Twitter account, which means the picture is the same across the board because they take the same information. Now, if you actually look over here at my tweets, I appear to be rocketing towards 11,000. That means I do it consistently, unlike somebody not a million miles away.
Actually, I consistently put out tweets at least 5 a day.
Do you?
Yes.
Really?
All scheduled.
All scheduled and all RSS'd from someone else's feed. Yeah, okay. I have to admit I haven't done as much as I ought to. However, please try and ensure you have 1 or 2 going out every single day that are useful. I tend to now log in and see things, and as you can see, somebody here sent me an app message which I then retweeted so that the 2,000 or so people who are following me might go and help this person. I also do have RSS feeds that come through from varying places, and some of my blogs from my WordPress site also auto feed back through, and I am going to go and have a look at those and stop those doing that because they're doing it too regularly for my liking. But by getting the consistency right, getting what I want to say right, I'm actually being found. I'm on 188 lists, which means for whatever reason, some people have been listening to what I'm saying and they're collecting me. So if they're collecting me, I'm saying something right somewhere. Now, if my following people start dropping, my followers rather, it means I'm saying too much. So I should quieten down a bit. Somebody is wetting themselves laughing here, so they're in serious trouble if they don't stop that.
Never. Never. You say too much? No.
Yeah, okay.
Some people have said that you are a bit noisy sometimes.
Noisy?
Yes.
Me? Really? Okay. Maybe occasionally.
You get a bit hyper sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that's allowed. Anyway, be consistent. Be who you are. I will always turn you off if you swear, and I'm not the only one.
Absolutely. There's a time and a place for everything there. If you interact with other people who don't mind that, that's fine, but there are a lot of people who won't take that type of behaviour online or offline.
No. It's just one of those little things that, you know, if I might go and look at the conversation and see if it was necessary, warranted. I also don't like people being ridiculously nasty online. And again, if I see that and I follow through the conversation and see if it was necessary or warranted, I might not unfollow them. The world is too big, really, for for everybody to see that sort of behaviour. Absolutely unnecessary, and I don't need to follow people like that, so I distance myself.
Is there a profanity filter in the settings?
There isn't, unfortunately, but actually there's varying apps. When I was picking the apps to share, there's a couple that will show you who is swearing, so if it is your thing, you can go and find them. Yeah. But it really isn't my thing. You also get a lot of the spammers picking up on stuff like that. I don't need to be that kind of outrageous. It's not necessary. It's not part of me. If it's part of your world, go for it and be part of your world, but it isn't really mine. So.
Fair enough.
So we've got a few apps here to make it a bit easier for you. You've shown them what you want to be found for, and you've got your 160 characters, right? So there are lots and lots of places that you can go and put yourself for free. Twello is one of them, and it's twello.com. I believe, in fact, all of these I'm going to show you are whatever it's called in .com. What are you smiling at?
I just like the Twello pages, which it is. It is the yellow pages for Twitter.
It's one of lots, and there are quite a few of them. In fact, there are thousands of apps. I think I've got a list of about 90 something, which is a bit scary. Every now and again I'll go through them and see which ones are still there. But you know, they've ever since it came out, really, the third-party app developers have come and done all sorts of funky things.
And as you can see from the image on your screen, actually Twilio has around 24 million. So it's about a fifth of actually the full number of Twitter users are on there. But actually, that's a great way, and it's free, of you adding yourself so people can find you, but also you searching for other people.
Absolutely, you'll find all sorts of people on there, and they're all listed in different categories. So if you've put yourself on there, which you should, what you could then go and look at is other people in your world and in your country, and see who you can connect and follow with, and use it as a very quick way of doing that.
In fact, I believe there's a section on there called Twilio Hood, isn't it?
Yes.
As for neighbourhood, Twilio
Yes,
Hood.
absolutely.
We apologise for the names of these things. We didn't make them up. And that'll actually, you can put your area in. In fact, I think there's a map you can zoom in on and actually see the Twitter users in your area, which is absolutely brilliant if actually you've got a local business.
You'll find that one in a minute.
Oh, do we? Oh,
Did
sorry.
you not read the slides?
No, I didn't.
Okay, we're going to give them a snack first. Okay, WeFollow is another one. There's probably about 20 different Yellow Pages type places. I've picked the two biggest, so you know, go and have a look. In fact, actually, I think on the next slide, just tweet it, which is quite cool. It's down in other people like you, and actually they're going to tweet it out in the world as well and tell the world that you've joined. Some of them you get the option of whether they've sent it out to everybody, some of them you don't. That particular one I think just auto sends it out. But actually, if they're going to find you, why not make it easy and put yourself on everything that's halfway decent?
Well, that's the idea at the end of the day, isn't it? The idea, this is social media, social networking, that you want to be found and connect with others and be social with them, so make the most of it.
Well, a lot of them, as we saw, 20% of them don't do the social thing, they do the voyeur thing and have a watch. There's nothing wrong with watching and listening and, you know, seeing what's going on out there. But actually you'll get an awful lot more of it if you do something with it and actually start joining in the conversations.
Yeah, because from a business point of view, you're not going to pick up any business if you don't actually join in.
No.
You know, so actually if you want to do this, and we're talking about this from a business perspective of doing it to, you know, increase relationships, increase customer loyalty with clients you already have, connect with them, but also finding new prospects and that. And if you don't join in, you're not going to do that.
No,
so it really is, you've got to give it a good shot.
So once you started finding the right people and joining into conversations with them and actually listening to what it is they're talking about, just go and read in their feed what it is they need help with, how you can help them, what it is they're talking about, where they're meeting. And that happens a lot. You see them doing tweet-ups, which are quite cool, which is real meets of people tweeting in your area. And I know it sounds a little bit silly, but actually it's just a good excuse for a chat down the pub usually.
Or in a cafe.
Or in a cafe, of course, naturally. Actually, I was with Bradley today in rather a funky cafe.
You were? I loved that. I thought that was the offices of where you were going. I'm surprised Bradley didn't bring the Vespa back.
I think he tried.
He tried. If you want to know what we're talking about, there's a picture on Facebook.
Yeah, there is. Right, so where were we? Friend or follow. This is yet another app. Now, I don't follow everybody who follows me. That isn't my way of doing things. If people want to follow me, very happy, unless they're not wearing any clothes, for them to follow me. But I'm not very happy if I'm not likely to follow them all back. I will probably only follow people I've interacted with, or people that I think I can help, or they're likely to need something that I do or could do. So don't get upset if I haven't followed you and you're the other side of the world. It isn't that I don't want to talk to you, it's that it's very, very difficult to focus on very big numbers. So I do tend to go and chat with people who are out of the country if they chat to me.
Isn't that a bit different from normal Twitter etiquette though? Because I thought the etiquette was that if someone followed you, the etiquette was to follow them back.
That might be your etiquette, but actually it isn't. It isn't necessary to follow absolutely everybody who follows you. It is absolutely personal choice, and it's the same as on Facebook. I now have my Facebook account open to the world who can subscribe to me, and I don't have to friend them. But if they want to listen, I'm not going to say no. If they then send me a message and ask me questions, I'll probably go and find out who they are. And exactly the same would happen on this. If they sent me an app message, I'll go and have a look.
So this goes back to engagement of actually don't sit there and listen and expect people to follow you back just because you followed them. Because actually you need to engage with them and actually try and grab their attention.
Absolutely. So if somebody does want to talk to me, following me is probably not the best way. I do periodically go and have a nosy through at who has followed me, and in Hootsuite it will show you in date order when they started following you. However, I'm not going to just auto-follow them back. But if they do engage with me, there is a very strong possibility that I would do that. Now, what you were talking about earlier about the etiquette thing of who's not following you, friend or follow will show you, and you can then decide, do you want to follow them because they're not following you, or do you want to unfollow them?
So we would certainly say don't use the various apps that are out there that will auto-follow people once they follow you, because that's a good way of actually the spam people getting hold of you.
Absolutely, and firstly, spam is annoying. It drives me a bit bonkers sometimes, and if I spot it, I will almost always report them, because it is annoying when you're using a platform to have quite an interesting conversation, and then you sort of, in the middle of it, somebody comes and spams you with something nasty or a link through to something to steal, all your people.
Did you know these people have been saying nasty things about you on Twitter?
Or the blog picture thing, or the, I
thought it was doing really well with all those pictures of girls in bikinis following me till I realised that was just...
Are we sure? We're not going there. Okay. This is quite funky. I can't even pronounce it. Don't laugh.
Twitterduce.
Okay. Essentially, it's a way of introducing people on Twitter.
Oh.
So it's quite a new app, and it's still in beta, as you can see. So it's working along the same concept as LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, in fact, I had one this week saying, "Hi Amanda, I want to go for this job, but you're 2 away from the particular guy who needs it. Would you mind forwarding it to one of your contacts so I can get it to this person?" And actually, this is a Twitter version.
Oh.
So I can say to all of the nice people out there, please be nice to this, what were you called again?
Biz Copilot.
Sorry, I'm being rubbish tonight.
You know that.
I just made sure you knew that because you never use it. I can introduce you to the world and say, can you please bombard him with it because he isn't using Twitter properly? No, but actually, in all seriousness, this is a way of introducing people online. So it's quite a cool little app which you can go and play with, which you're looking at me as, oh God, she's found something else to play with.
Well, the thing is, there are new apps coming out all the time, and part of our, what we'd love to do is actually test these and see what they're about and how good they are, etc. I thought for a moment this was the online dating one that you were talking about.
No, I didn't think that.
No, didn't think that would be appropriate to show that. Okay.
No. But if anybody wants it, I'll put it on the fan page later on, and you can go and help yourself and feel free. This is another, underneath the GeoChirp one is what Dave was talking about earlier. It will find people in your area. So you can go and listen to streams of people chatting within a certain radius of where you are. And actually that's probably one of the most useful ones that are out there.
I like that.
Well, you can go and have a listen to people, you can go and connect to people, and you can go and join in on conversations, which is always a good thing.
And actually, we didn't actually use this particular program, but actually when we were at a recent Entrepreneur Circle meeting, actually. It was
the one I got told off about.
I wasn't going to mention that bit. But actually, it was quite amazing, actually, because we were using Foursquare and also Twitter to also do bits. actually we connected with people throughout the room who were doing the same.
Absolutely, and people will listen and see, and actually some of the apps on the phones now will tell you
who's nearby.
Absolutely, and that's quite cool, and obviously Foursquare does that as well. So definitely sort of the Big Brother thing, if that's how you want to take it, is definitely upon you. You can turn off the geo tagging thing on your phones and off anywhere else if that's what you want to do. But people are out there listening, and actually if you're going to use the social media thing, why don't you do it properly? Those of you who know what hashtags is, I apologise for explaining it to those of you who don't. The little noughts and crosses board on its side is the hash, and a tag is literally exactly what it says. It's what is it? Hashtags.org will give you a whole list of things that are already hashtags, and you can just create your own if that's what you want to do. If you have an event coming up and you want to add a hashtag to it, try and keep it fairly short, given you only have 140 characters to get it out there. And if you make sure that it's publicised in all of your material, you can then follow the stream of things that are being said about that event. And is it Twitter form you can use? That you can listen for lots of things, not just the geolocation and the hashtag thing, but actually you could have that up in an event and have it interactive, so you can see and create quite a buzz about your events or special offers or whatever it is you want to use it for. Please don't just limit to events, because it isn't just that.
No, very, very powerful. And as Amanda said, the Twitter vault, I've seen that where we've used it at conferences, so people actually in the audience can ask questions using the same hashtag, and we can see those. You can either display them or not, depending on the conference organisers' particular viewpoints and that. And in fact, actually today I put out, I think it was on Facebook, that actually the NFL, the American football, I think it's Minneapolis, for the first time are actually going to have a hashtag on the field.
Wow.
Which is going to be televised and everything as well. So hashtags are a big thing. And one of the things I find very powerful about them, because you can search with a hashtag is and save them, is actually a hashtag for your local area. So maybe, I live in Newbury, so I always look at the hashtag Berkshire to see what's going on around and everything, because it's great to actually dip in and out of what's going on in your community.
Yeah, absolutely. Listening to hashtags is a very good thing. For those of you who are using Hootsuite, then putting a stream of a hashtag in your location is absolutely one of the things that we would recommend that you're listening for, because most of your businesses are likely to be round about you. So it makes very good sense for you to be listening to things around you, because you never know what you're missing.
No. And if your particular target client or niche is, say it was in the IT industry, then you could look at the hashtag IT, hashtag computers, things like that, to see what's being said. If you're looking for HR people within bigger businesses, then hashtag CIPD is a very good one, the trade body for them, or hashtag human resources. So there's lots of ways you can actually think of how to use hashtags for your target clients and actually find out what's the conversation that is going on.
And actually, just because you're listening doesn't mean that other people aren't listening. So by using the hashtags within your tweets, you will be found in your world. So no matter what it is that you do, look up on the hashtag.org and see if there's anything being used already. And if there is, use it, because there'll be lots more people that are actually listening as well.
And a huge example of that actually a few weeks ago now, but it was actually the London riots. So it was hashtag London riots and hashtag London riots cleanup were used amazingly for actually messages going around about the good things that were happening, not just the bad things.
Absolutely, and you'll find there's all sorts of things. In fact, I was reading my first ever ebook on my new toy, which we won't mention because somebody will be looking daggers at me in a moment.
That'll be the iPad one.
I downloaded Richard Branson's new book on there, which I'm going through and reading, and he's got a hashtag in there. So it's quite interesting to find people in a million years you wouldn't expect to be using stuff like that are actually bringing it in as everyday language. And more we're seeing stuff that comes in online. I mean, let's face it, none of this stuff is very old, but all of it is making a huge impact, and it's all becoming everyday language.
So in a way, I suppose these are very similar to keywords, isn't it? That we use with Google and all the other things that we use. So these are very good keywords that you can use hashtags on and track, but also be found for, which is more important. But
and by using them, you're going to be found more. And your tweets are going to be seen more, so you're going to have the opportunity to connect with more people. So be very clever when you're putting your tweets out there, and make sure that you put links to other things in so you can track it on Hootsuite. And if you're not using Hootsuite, please go and use something similar.
No, don't. Go use Hootsuite. It's quite simply the best tool out there. And there's, the basic version is free.
Absolutely.
So, it's actually a fantastic tool that's free that you should use. And even the paid version is only about £4 a month.
And I think it's £5 and 10 pence at the moment.
I thought it was $6.
Well,
which is about £4 in my money.
It's coming out at £5 and 10 pence, or £5 and 6 pence on my bank account, I think, at the moment, which I'm not going to worry about because it's definitely worth its weight in gold. But anyway, I highly recommend that. Some of you are using TweetDeck, I believe, and there are
which is now owned by Hootsuite.
Right. Hey,
it will rule the world.
It will rule the world. Right. This is a Google one. I don't know how many of you know about the advanced search tool on Google. There's actually an advanced search tool on Twitter as well. If you just type Twitter advanced search, it will come up and you can use that. But I came across this little gem the other day, and by typing in this little bit down here, let me see if I can find my cursor. So in text, and then a colon, and then speech marks, bio, an asterisk, and this I put Berkshire, and then closed speech marks. That will actually search every bio on Twitter for Berkshire in their biography, and you can actually use that for anything at all. So if you happen to be looking for lawyers in an area, or you're looking for
accountants, whatever your target client is, really,
and you type that in Google in the advanced search, you will find anything you want. Assuming they're putting in their bio,
which a lot of people will, because they'll put what they sort of do for a living, tend to. So actually, that's a great tool for you actually to try and track down some of your target clients.
Well, I thought that was quite cool and quite fun and quite funky. And actually,
there is only one slight problem with that, which I found. Unfortunately, there is Berkshire in America.
Indeed. Well,
so you might have to put Berkshire UK.
Indeed, and actually, if you look, I think we did find
Pittsburgh,
Massachusetts. But we also found varying other things as well. But I think all of these are actually American.
They are.
But hey ho. Now, you've got to join in your conversations. And how can you help them? And essentially, that's what Twitter's all about. It's actually helping people. So what we're actually going to do now is we're going to open the mics and see if we can answer any of your questions. Is that going to be a nightmare?
Can I ask a question before we do that?
No.
Fair enough.
Go on.
That was my question. That was my question. So you answered it. Thank you very much indeed. But no. So we've talked a lot about how to find people, how to be found, how to search, etc., tools to use. But actually, one of the things that we haven't covered, and probably is one of the things I struggle with, is what to talk about.
You talk about what's happening around you. You could talk about what you talk about in the pub.
So even though it's possibly for business, you'd still talk about X Factor and Strictly Come Dancing and I'm Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
And
okay. So it's a bit like talking with your colleagues at a water cooler or that sort of thing. Is that type of chat?
Water cooler's a bit American, and we're not in America. But
most of the companies I work for have a water cooler. There you go.
Okay. Right. It's going into the pub. Okay.
Or the cafe.
Or the cafe. And it's saying hello, like Bradley did, bless him, to the guy from Fun Boy 3 who he saw walking his child this afternoon.
Good on you, Bradley. who is listening.
And that's what I said to him as we walked past. Who was that? He said, "Oh, that was the guy out of the specials." Oh, all right then. That's what you're doing. You're saying hello.
It's a bit of a theme today, Vespers.
I know. It took out what they're talking about, what they need.
And how much time would you suggest people spend on this?
You can spend all day if you wish. I wouldn't.
Yes, I don't think that's a very productive use of
No,
business
it's not
owners'
a very
time, to be honest.
productive use. All of your social media, once you've got it set up and sorted, you should be doing an hour a day.
Okay.
Absolute maximum everything. But find platforms like, you're going to find platforms that you don't like. And you're going to find things that work better for you. Actually, you can get ridiculously huge numbers on here very quickly in your target area, in your target market, and you can have an awful lot of fun with it.
And you can get, I know for a fact, we've looked at lots of cases and we know ourselves, you do get business through Twitter.
You get a lot of business. I mean, even people that I work with, that I know that are using Twitter, they're not putting a lot out there, but they are interacting and they're getting work every single week from having a natter.
Mm.
And that is all it is. It's nothing more than
Because
that.
people ask a lot of questions, don't they? So where can I find A? And other people answer. But actually, if you're listening, you can actually go, well, actually, that's what I do. Can I help you?
Mm.
So you can actually go out there, and that's one of the things to actually search for in that.
And they'll be listening for what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So if you're saying, I need an accountant, somebody's going to be listening for an accountant. And you're not going to say that. You're going to say where you are.
Mm.
So, you know, you might be Oxfordshire or Berkshire or wherever. You're actually going to mention that. Somebody else is listening. You're probably not connected at the moment, but by putting it out there, you will be shortly.
And the thing is, as well, is that what I find amazing is that we have to have you know, you're right. We don't all use all the platforms all the time, and Twitter's the one I use the least out of all the platforms, but I still do use it. But it is amazing that how many people do use it. So the thing is that even if you're not using it now, is to be aware that lots of other people are, and that includes your target audience.
Absolutely.
So make sure you actually go out.
Questions. You can stick your hand up and we can put you live if you fancy it.
Or you could just actually type it in the question box
Or you
if you
can
don't
just
feel
type
so.
it in the question box if you don't want to do that. Only I can't find my question box now. Now, let me get my question box out. I should just move that over there. No, we won't move that over there. It's not having it.
Diana's question was from the beginning, obviously, when we were setting up. Yes, that picture was very cute. That's actually my son, Luke.
Oh, okay. Is that what that was?
That's what that question was. He's cute.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Diana.
I think that's what she's talking about.
You haven't been putting other...
No, I've not put any other pictures. Unless she's trying to button me up before I do a LinkedIn review tomorrow morning.
Quite funny. So, anybody going to put some questions up? I'm sure you all must have something that you want to talk about. I can't even see who's on here. No? No questions? Actually, I'm going to be really nasty.
I was going to say, Bradley's going to have a question coming here as well, isn't he?
Bradley, you're live, dude. You want to chat? No? Obviously, he doesn't
He
want
might
to
not be
chat.
able to, depending what he's...
Yeah, I don't have no
I think
idea.
I'm unmuted, am I not?
Oh,
Yeah, we can hear you,
said
Brad.
for all of it, my dear, but you're not now.
Hey,
Have you got any questions or
Can
anything
you
you'd
hear me?
like to share?
I don't know if you can hear me or not.
We can, absolutely.
Can everyone hear me or just you?
Yes.
Yes, they can, my dear. Yes.
So keep it clean, mate.
Yeah, you're on the stage now, dear. Off you go.
No, it's just I'm on the iPad. I'm not sure how it works. I can't see a question box or anything on my iPad at the moment. So.
All right. Well, you don't need to ask the question. You're actually live now, so you can just say it.
Okay.
So have you been? What did you find to all of that lot? Anything new for you?
I thought the hashtag.org was really cool.
Yeah. That's
Can you sort of narrow it down into the without the sort of the asterisk, can you be more specific, like for UK?
Yes. You can put very, very specific searches into that. And you can put very specific, so if you were looking for Portfolio Plus, you could put very specific things like actor and director and all the other stuff. And if you were looking for affinity cars, again, you can put very specific stuff in there for what you wanted to find.
So actually that's something everyone should do really, is actually come up with a load of hashtags for their particular niche or industry, that they can actually then start looking at what's being said on those hashtags.
Yeah, we'll give you all some homework. We'd like you to share tomorrow all of your hashtags on the fan page for your particular industries that you've found. Is that not good?
Not going to happen, is it?
People aren't going to do homework.
I didn't at school, I can't see me starting now.
People always do my homework. I don't know what you're talking about. I must ask a bit more nicely than the teacher at school.
Didn't you do other people's homework as well?
Ah, well, that was something different.
Which she was paid for. You're quite right. She was an entrepreneur from a very young age.
Yes, well, we better not share that too far.
So, Brad, how do you use Twitter in your business, Brad?
Bradley, did you hear that?
It's been a great... Yeah, no, I did. Yeah, so I think plus I'm trying to put my brain into gear. I've been up since about 5 o'clock this morning. There's various different ways. I mean, you can firstly use hashtags to see where people are at and what they're.
True.
You've got something worthwhile discussing with them, and then. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing with your iPad here, but it's.
Right,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think we've lost Bradley. I'm gonna go and mute him. No, you're not. Sorry, my dear, we've muted you because we were losing you. Has anybody else got any questions that they want to ask us?
Either about Twitter or any other social media questions on any of the other platforms? Very quiet tonight, aren't they?
Everybody's very quiet tonight. What I'm going to recommend you do is you all go on the fan page and share your Twitter name with everybody on there, so we can all make sure we're following you. I think I'm probably following a lot of you, but I'm not sure I've got you all. Mine's at Amanda_Hill if you're not following me. You can share yours.
Mine's still at BizCopilot, BIZCOPILOT.
Feel free to go and harass him and drive him bonkers to actually use it. No, that's not true. Go and have a chat anywhere. And what you might like to do is go and see who I'm following, because there's about 1,000 people that I'm following, and the chances are they're somewhere near you. So it's quite useful to go and have a look and see who they are, and please go and feel free to follow them. Or if you'd like an introduction, we now have the introduction tool to do that. I'm very happy to do that anyway if you need anything that other people have got. If there aren't any more questions, our next webinar, now the slide is not going to tell me when it is, and I can't even get it down. It's a Wednesday. What was the date?
The 21st of December.
The 21st of December. Well, that's a bit close. We could have a party.
We could. But I'm having a party that day as my part of my Wealth Club.
Oh, you? So you're going to be legless? Yes. Marvellous.
No, I shall be sober. And the subject is about running your own TV channel.
Ooh, we're doing YouTube.
We
How
are.
funky is that?
Yes, so you can get your videos over Christmas and
Ooh,
post them.
I was going to say, if you look out very shortly, I did a Jib Jab one of everybody for Halloween, which was quite funny. I have in the bag several of varying members, friends and whatever, and the social. And we have a couple of Christmas ones out. If anybody would like to use my Paid For account to send your own out, please ask, and you can. and then you can download them and share them with the world, but they're very funny.
They went down very well with our last social media masterclass, didn't they?
Absolutely. They were rolling about the floor laughing. Yes, we'll be doing some more. Yes, there's 2 more that are ready to come out. There's a nice Strictly Come Dancing one, which is quite funny, that I neglected to share with somebody not very far away.
Yes, that was a shock when you shared the with the masterclass, me and you doing the tango.
Yeah, I thought that was quite cool. I thought I'd save that one for the final of Strictly Come Dancing night. And actually, what Dev said earlier about should you be sharing those? Yes, absolutely you should. You have something in common then with the other people who are interacting.
It's what people are talking about.
If you go where the people are, and you any other questions, we're going to disappear off and answer anything on the fan page and in the group. We'll share this with you when we work out how to get it back down again. GoToWebinar is appalling to actually translate it.
Yeah, thanks a lot for listening and joining us, and we'll see you on Facebook, the Social Media Cafe. And we also had a closed group on there for those of you who want to ask questions that maybe you only want to happen in a safe environment. So if you'd like to be a member of that, just ask on the Social Media Cafe page, and we'll gladly accept you.
Take care and see you next time.
Bye.